Everyone, my name is Cyprianne and today we're going to be making my fisherman cap. I'm going to be demonstrating the 6 to 12 month size, but if you're looking for a different size, I do have a download pattern available that has 6 sizes, newborn to adult extra large. So this is actually a fantastic pattern for guys too. Pretty much the only design now that my teenagers will wear, but I have received some photos lately with babies wearing it and it looks incredibly cute on them, so I decided to do this one for babies. So this hat is constructed working top down. We'll make the base of the hat, and then what we're going to be doing is adding the ribbed band as we go. For this project today, I am using Brava Tweed worsted weight yarn that was supplied to me by We Crochet, and I'm demonstrating using this really pretty pink rose finch colors. But this yarn does come in 6 different colors and they are these beautiful muted tones, so you may want to check those out. And all of them have this beautiful tweed effect, which I think just lends itself perfectly to this design. This hat to me looks its best when it's done in a tweedy type yarn. For the hat, you're going to need 3 different size crochet hooks. You're going to need a 6.5 for the base of the hat. You need a 6 for the bottom of the hat. And then you actually need a 5 for the ribbed band of the hat. So, but to get started, all you need is the yarn and the 6.5 if you want to get started right away, but you absolutely need to go down to that 5mm hook for the rib band. So I am going to leave a list in the video here and you can see everything that you need. And other than that, I think we're ready to get started. So let's get started. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is make a slip knot. You can also do a magic circle if you prefer, but as anybody knows who's followed me for a while, I generally start with the chain 2 method. So we're going to go ahead and chain 2, and then working into that second chain from the hook, 1, 2, we are going to work 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and you see I'm crocheting over my tail, and I'll show you why I'm doing that in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more. And then because I worked over that tail, the whole, I can just pull it closed. Okay. The next thing that we're going to be doing is working 2 single crochets into each stitch around, doubling our stitches from 6 to 12. So I'm just going to work 2 stitches right into there, 1 and 2. And I'm going to put my slip marker in because we won't be joining or turning. We're going to work continuously. We want to mark the beginning of each round to make it easy to find where we need to start each round. So I'm just going to go ahead and work 2 single crochet in each stitch around, and I'll come back and meet up with you for a stitch count. All right, so I finished round 2. We're just going to make sure that we have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Moving on to round 3, we're going to be working a single crochet into the first stitch, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. 1, 2. Slip our stitch marker in, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So just continue that way all the way around. Single crochet followed by 2 single crochets in the next, and I'll put timestamps below so that if you need to go back, you can do that easily. So I'll meet up with you at the end of round 3, and we should have 18 stitches. Okay, so I have finished round 3 and I have 18 stitches, so we can move on to round 4. And we will be working 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet into the next. And that will be your pattern for this round. So single crochet in 2 stitches and then 2 single crochet in the next. So go ahead and work to the end of round 4, and at the end of round 4 check your count. You should have 24 stitches. Moving on to round 5, you're just going to be working a single crochet in the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. 1, 2, followed by a single crochet in the next 3, and that is going to be your repeat for this entire round. Single crochet in 3 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So go ahead and finish round 5, and at the end of round 5 you should have 30 stitches. Okay, so I finished round 5 and I have double checked. I have 30 stitches, and so we can move on to round 6, which you're just going to work 1 single crochet into the first 4 stitches, 2, 3, and 4, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So that's how this entire round will be worked. I'm just going to put this back in real quick. So single crochet in 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. And at the end of round 6 you should have 36 stitches. So I'll finish up this round and meet up with you at the end. Okay, I just finished round 6 and double checked, and I have 36 stitches. So we can move on to round 7, and we're going to increase this round by 6 again. So we're going to work a single crochet into the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So you want to work that way for this entire round, working a single crochet into 5 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. And at the end of round 7 you should have 42 stitches. So finish up and meet up with you at the end of round 7. Then we have one more increase round, and we will check our gauge. I have just finished round 7 and I have 42 stitches. So let's go on to round 8, and this is going to be our last increase round. For this one you're going to work a single crochet into the first 6 stitches. That's 1. Put my slip mark. I keep calling it a slip marker, stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So you just do that for the rest of the round. Single crochet into 6 stitches, followed by 2 single crochets into 1, and at the end of round 8 you should have 48 stitches. And then we'll meet up, we'll do a little gauge check and continue with the rest of the hat. Okay, so I just finished round 8 and I have 48 stitches, and here we'll just do a quick gauge check. So mine measures about 4 3/4 across. So if yours is a lot smaller than that, double check your gauge because your hat will be too small. If it's a lot bigger, again, double check your gauge, it's going to be too big. So for the rest of the hat, until we get to the brim, you're just going to work single crochets in every stitch around. So work rounds 9 through 17, working a single crochet. Don't join, don't turn. Just keep working continuously, and that way you have a nice seamless hat. And we'll meet up and I'll show you how to do the brim, and I'll have some tips and tricks because sometimes people have difficulty with the brim fitting nice and snug to the hat, and I can help you out with that in this video. So be sure to watch that part. Okay, so I will see you when we finish the base of our hat. Okay, so I just finished working up to round 17, and we still have a little bit more of the hat to go. We want to finish the length of the hat, but what we're going to do is switch to a 6mm, and that's going to start to shape the bottom of the hat nice and snug, so it goes a little bit smaller at the bottom to allow for any stretching. And then when we move on to the brim, we're going to go all the way down to a 5mm hook. So you want to make sure that you have those sizes of hooks ready to go. So for rounds 18 through 22, all you're going to do is just work a single crochet in every stitch around, the way that we just finished working. So let's work those next 5 rounds, and then we'll meet up and we will start on the ribbed band of the hat. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so I have finished working my 22 rounds, and it's time to move on to the rib band. So this is probably where I can lend the most help with this pattern. So it's really important that you go down to a 5mm hook on this. It's going to help the band fit snugly against the hat. Okay, so for this size, and if you have the pattern, you can just follow along for whatever size you're making. All you're going to be doing is joining with a slip stitch and then chaining 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we're going to be working down back towards the hat. So you want to work a half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And you want to work these as tight as possible. As a general rule, I wouldn't actually tell people to change the way that they crochet naturally, but it is important when you're working the brim that you pull these stitches as tight as possible. So let's work all the way down to the base of the hat. And also, a stitch marker can come in really handy when you're working the brim, unless you're used to crocheting already and you find it easy to find the difference between your chain stitches, slip stitches, and the stitches that you want to work into. So we just want to make sure that we have 8. So we want to count and make sure that we have 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have one more to work, my very first chain here. And that's 8. So what we're doing is slip stitching as we go. So we're going to attach this brim as we go. Now it's really important when you slip stitch that these stitches are worked loose. So when you're working the half double crochets, those are going to be tight. Any slip stitches are going to be loose. If you work your slip stitches tight, you will actually change the size of the hat, because you'll take this row or round and you'll be pulling it in like that. Okay, so you want to work a slip stitch across the next 2 stitches. So now this is another thing. It's really easy to not see that you've actually worked into this stitch here. So this is where the stitch marker comes in handy, because if you start working back into this stitch, what will happen is the band of your hat will actually slant. And I've had a few people write me and they've been really frustrated because they've done the band over and over again and it keeps slanting. And that's the reason why, because you're adding an extra stitch down there. So I suggest you even use a stitch marker there, but you just slip stitch into the next 2. So that's 1 and 2, and I'm working them very loose. And then you're going to turn. Then working right back up your row here, you're going to half double crochet into the back loop. So we slip stitched over 2 stitches, so that's 1, 2, which means that this is your first stitch here. Okay, so you're going to work right into that back loop and work a half double crochet, and again you're going to be pulling that as tight as you can, and just continue to work the half double crochets in the back loop all the way down the row. And at the end you want to count and make sure that you've got 8. And again, if you're just starting to crochet, it might be easier if you slip a stitch marker into your last stitch here as you work it. In fact, I'll demonstrate what I mean on the next row. Oh, got doggy hair there. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn, and work right back in to that first stitch with a half double crochet. Okay. And then what you can do is slip your stitch marker in, so that when you work back up that row, you know that you want to end up in that last stitch. Then work a half double crochet in the next, and work a half double crochet all the way down. And so every row that you do should be 8 half double crochets, or depending on the size you're making, you'll be chaining a different amount. But again, just make sure that those stitches are made as tight as possible. And I think I have one more to do, but I'm just going to check. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then my last stitch, which can be a little hard to find, right here. So you may have to push that in a bit and wiggle that in. Okay, so that's 8. And then what you could do if you're just starting, you're going to place your stitch marker right back in there, so when you come back after doing your slip stitches, you know exactly where to work. Okay, again, we worked into this one, so you're going to slip stitch over the next 2. 1 and 2, and then you're going to turn. And then again, you just look for your 2 stitches you just did. That's 1, 2. So you're going to work in the back loop of this stitch here. So this is how the entire brim is worked. Okay, before you go finishing the ribbing, I just want to show you at the end, you want to leave your last stitch here unworked, so there'll be a little bit of a gap. But when we sew these 2 together, that will also help to keep the ribbed band snug against the hat. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and finish off the brim, and then we'll meet up and I'll show you how to sew the brim together and the hat will be done. Okay, so the very last thing that we're going to do is just sew the edges together. So you want the hat to be right side out and the edge of the ribbing folded down, so that once you sew them together and you flip the band up, that the sewing will be hidden, or the slip stitches. So all we're going to do is just join that with a slip stitch, and then just work through both stitches here and work a slip stitch all the way across. Okay, and if you're not comfortable doing slip stitches, but I'm sure you are, you can also sew this together in your preferred technique, but you're just going to work all the way across, and then your hat will be done. So just remember that the pattern download includes sizes newborn to adult, so you can make it for everybody in your family or anybody that you want. But lately people have been sending me pictures of their babies in this hat, and I cannot believe how precious they look. So that's why I decided to do this tutorial in the baby size, but it's great for men and boys, and in fact this is probably the only hat, this and the Super Bulky version, that my guys wear. Anyways, I can't find my scissors, so I'll just flip this up, and that's it, all done. So, oh, there's my scissors right there, duh. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, or you have any feedback, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And that's everything for today. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out these videos next. And until next time, bye-bye.